Hi everyone, welcome to the Spiritual Fit Chick Show, one of the bonus episodes that I've just recently added in called Mini Morning Musings. I'll probably shorten that to Morning Musings so I don't get so tongue-tied. This is also the first episode that I am recording both as a podcast and as a video to go on YouTube. So if you're watching from YouTube, hello, welcome, please subscribe, and thanks for being here. So today's topic came up kind of unexpectedly due to the political climate and also just my increasing efforts towards being more productive in my higher purpose, my bigger projects, the things that really matter. So in short, today's episode is really going to be about how to clear away all the bullshit basically that takes our time, our energy, our focus, and just our internal precious resources and doesn't do us any kind of good whatsoever. So on my Instagram stories, if you guys caught those, I kind of went through just the basics of social media and the fact that social media is engineered to hook our brains into addictive dopamine releasing patterns. That's how they were designed from the get-go. That's how they are billion-dollar companies that exploit our interests and the things that we look at. And it's basically just this constant overstimulation of our brains and our nervous systems. This is really a big deal because it's causing not only an increasing just uptick in things like mental illness and depression from the things that people are viewing, especially the comparison aspect, the aspect that basically everything that we see in our own lives really sucks compared to the people that we're following. That's a more logical, okay, yeah, that can kind of make you depressed. Most people, if they see one post or story, say someone got married and they're single, or somebody bought a new car and they just got laid off, people can handle that. We were designed to be able to handle hardship, and we should be emotionally resilient enough for that not to be a big deal. But the thing that I don't think people stop and realize is that literally in the past decade, we went from that kind of being a one-time thing that we would have to deal with, or maybe only in our close immediate circle of 10, 20 people, friends and family, to it being 24/7. Every single day we're seeing people that have this. So just from sheer volume, we're getting kind of assaulted with this stuff so much more rapidly. I mean, it's just kind of never ending. That alone, again, is going to create an emotional environment that is hard to keep up with. But on a more scientific neurological level, the way the brain works, the way the brain is set up, it is meant to seek out reward and get a little hit of dopamine. Dopamine is that, I feel fulfilled, I feel happy, I feel satisfied. It can be acquired through sex, drugs, food, obtaining a goal. Those are, again, innate characteristics of our human physiology that were meant to make us seek out a partner or food or whatever. But it's been completely hijacked. It's been completely hijacked and exploited by social media because our brains were never meant to endure this, to experience this 24/7 nonstop in droves. It just wasn't. So our brains are in this hyper aroused, overstimulated state, basically 24/7. And the minute that level kind of comes down, we put our phone down for a minute, we kind of turn into these addicts. We're like, oh my gosh, I need my next hit. I need to go buy something. I need to see something. I need to get stressed out or, overly excited or pissed off. All of those emotions are on the higher, energetic spectrum of emotions, and they cause a physiological change, a hormonal shift in your body. 2020 was a crazy year for everybody, and it was also an election year. 4 years ago, the election was very emotionally charged, but again, social media and the platforms and the reach and the connections to people has only grown exponentially since 4 years ago. So you had it just compounded on top of a pandemic and a shutdown, and everyone was already so emotionally charged anyway. So basically, our nervous systems and our brains have been in constant fight, flight, scared, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next mode, because the majority of the content that we're consuming or looking at is negatively charged, and it is leaning towards that as a whole, but again, 2020 with everything that happened really compounded that. The election and everything on top of that really compounded it. So what I wanted to bring to your attention is, for one, if you're finding yourself stressed, scattered, and you can't sleep, you have anxiety that just seems like you feel like you're basically just, your brain and your body is in a blender of emotions. It's just like on high speed, pulverized. It's not just because of the political climate or COVID or anything else. It is very much a result of the overstimulation of the information, the opposing viewpoints. All of these different things tie in and they affect you, and they're basically frying your nervous system and your body on a cellular, biological level. It's not just you. It's not just, oh yeah, we've had a hard year or we're stressed out. It's not. Our brains and bodies, our nervous systems were meant to have these stressful, high energy moments sporadically when we were hunting for food, when there was a famine, when we were trying to procreate, and then a lot of down, chill, rehabilitating, relaxation, restorative time in between those. Now it's just like we never stop. We never stop because we may work Monday through Friday and we look forward to the weekends. So what do we do on the weekends? We zone out with TV and Netflix, which is stressful. I don't care how much you love Game of Thrones or whatever I know that one's kind of old. I don't watch TV, so I don't really know the popular trending shows right now. But generally, again, they create and they stimulate a physiological response in you of suspense, nervous. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? You're almost left on edge. This is very intentional. Okay, well, what's going to happen next week? So you're just like counting down the moments to the next show, the next season. This is your biology being hijacked and exploited by these big industries that know if they can hook you in and put their little hooks into your dopamine reward center in your brain, they have you as a customer for life, as a consumer for life. That works out really good for their business model, right? So understanding this, it helps you take away a little bit of maybe the self-blame or the guilt or the what the hell is wrong with me that people feel and have felt specifically in the past year. I've had an uptick in clients coming to me and literally from the session one, their brains are just so overloaded. It's just this swirl of, oh my gosh, I've got so much anxiety, so much fear, what's going to happen? And like the first thing I have them do is I'm like, you need to delete social media for a couple days. Just start with a couple days. You need to turn off the news. You need to delete Netflix. Like you have to stop overstimulating your system because the news is obviously, well, I'm going to put real in quotations because a lot of it is actually kind of fabricated, made up, dramatized content. But when it comes to entertainment, when you're watching a show and somebody's about to die and everything else, your brain, your eyeballs, when it consumes that information and that visual, it impacts your body and your psyche exactly like if you were seeing it in person. People think, oh, it's just entertainment or whatever, and I've always had very controversial beliefs and ideas on entertainment and what I don't allow to come into my brain through my eyeballs or my ears. Not a lot of people agree with it, but the science backs it up. Again, your physiology changes based on what you're viewing. We understand that a sunset's relaxing and stimulating, so why do we think that when we're watching gruesome, brutal murders on a TV show that it's not affecting us somehow? It is affecting us. So being mindful of what you're consuming is the first step. And then understanding that it has a big impact on you and that this benign anxiety, stress, tension, the lack of focus that you have, the confusion, the turmoil, all of this can be changed. It can absolutely be changed. And the first step, the very first thing to do, I'm going to break this down in basically a couple easy steps for you. First step is go and unfollow, unsubscribe, delete what you think is maybe like a level 10 in terms of emotional charge. So that might be a family member who posts very hostile political beliefs and you're just like tired of seeing it. Unfollow them, put them on snooze. It might be a news outlet that's always just, doom and gloom. The next horrible thing is happening. Unfollow. If there's something that's really important that you need to know, you're gonna know it. Unfollow, disconnect, protect your eyes, protect your ears. It could be brands and companies that make you feel bad. Like you might have, the algorithms target your interest. They do that and then they exploit it. So you might buy a pair of leggings and then the next thing you know, you're just like constantly spending money because the algorithm has targeted every single legging and fitness wear company in existence to you, and now you've completely blown your budget. Like your budget out the window. So that's a negative. That's stressing you out. That's not really benefiting your life. I love clothes as much as the next person, but overspending, like that's a big thing that I'm mindful of. I opt out, I unsubscribe, I unfollow, I hide ads because I want to be in control of my purchases. I don't want to be in a vulnerable, stressed out state and then this meticulously timed ad pops up and I need a dopamine hit, so I go spend $200 on stuff that I don't need. And that's a big one I've worked on a lot over the years because I love fashion and I love fitness wear. So you have to just disconnect, and then you have to delete and give your brain a break. So you've gotten rid of the worst offenders, you've unsubscribed, you've become really conscious of what you're consuming. The next, delete the freaking apps off of your phone for a day at a time or a half day. Wherever is kind of maybe like a 50% reduction for you. Most people have no idea how much time they actually spend on social media. So if you set if you have an iPhone, I'm sure other phones have this too, to where it documents your time on social media, do that for a week or two and your mind will be blown at how much time you actually spend. So if it's 2 hours a day, try to cut it down to 1. If it's 4 hours a day, try to cut it down to 2, and just keep reducing like that. The very best way is to delete the apps completely. I can say from personal experience, I try to just not click on them, but it's such a deeply ingrained habit. Again, it's automatic at this point. That doesn't work very well for me. So I have to just delete the app completely. I keep it on my iPad, which is much harder to check in on, or my desktop, my computer. I can see the important notifications. I can respond to what's important. And that's really it. That's as simple as it needs to be. And then I'll download it when I need to respond to a lot of comments or do some stories or a video or a post, and then I delete it again. It takes all of 10 seconds to download and log into an app, like literally 10, 15 seconds. When I mentioned this to a friend once, she was like, oh no, that would be like way too much work. And I'm like, but you can dedicate 5 hours a day to mindless social media scrolling that like doesn't serve you or help you in any kind of way. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not a huge issue. Just do it. Do it, you guys. I swear to you, of all the things I could recommend, somatic healing, trauma, supplements, nutrition, stress management, of all the things, this is literally in my top 3 in terms of stuff that will absolutely transform your mental and physical health. If you do not believe me, if you are skeptical at all, just try it. Give it 7 days, delete the apps, cut your time, unfollow, be conscious, and that is really it. You will see the benefits, you will feel better, you will be happier, more content, more productive, and your life will change absolutely 100%. So that is all for now. I hope this gave you some insights and some takeaways that you will put into action and that you will reap the benefits and have a little more peace, joy, focus, and zen in your life. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys next time.